Did you want to have Joe introduce himself before I kind of launched into my laundry list here?
Actually, go right ahead, Peg, and we'll have Joe introduce himself before he begins.
Okay. So, I am coming at this from a very hybrid point of view now that I have moved into academia. I am learning that there's all sorts of threads that you can pull inside of a university. And from the outside looking in, even when we were like employed at the university and we were trying to get a client engaged with some of the programs, it was difficult to navigate because there's so many ways in, there's so many opportunities. And so I kind of wanted to outline this in terms of who you might be engaging with on a broad level. So most of us understand that inside of a higher education institute, there are lots of students who are looking for that experiential education or something that they can put on their resume for when they're graduating and have people understand they have some experience. And so we all kind of understand that there are these internships. What we don't understand is that from the university point of view, that there has to be something that's really academically owned by the students so that they can have an entire project. We had a lot of clients who would come and just really want a paid hourly person in their office, and they thought that was an internship. So we did a lot of expectation setting, but we also have classes that have a service learning component. And Stephen Rayburn is on the call. He is our director of service learning at the university. So he'll be great to ask questions about how do you get involved with these types of classes. They're at the undergraduate level, they're at the graduate level, and they can be termed a field project or just a work program that is in conjunction with the academic, or a consulting project in a capstone class. Now, that's for academic credit, but there are a lot of students who still need to earn some money and would like some part-time work. So the Center for Career Services, they host part-time paid work opportunities for businesses to post jobs. They also host career fairs. So it's not just part-time help, but graduate recruitment as well. And then there are a number of opportunities if you want to mentor students or give them an opportunity to shadow you in your job. Those also can come through career services. And we do have somebody on the call today who is one of our mentors, Craig Starcher. He will be speaking a little bit later if y'all want to ask him questions. Then, of course, there's always the infamous, you can donate to the university in form of scholarship or other kinds of support. And so the next population that might help you out as a business owner, if you want to go to the next slide, Shelby or Rich, is if you are looking for professional advisement and instructions. This is where some of the expertise at the university is coming in. So the Small Business Development Center, which Joe will talk about, it's a nationwide program, and it's sponsored by the Small Business Administration, but it's also associated with some of these specialty advising centers, like how you do government contracting or technology commercialization. And then at Texas State, we also have the translation services from the Department of World Languages and Literature, and that is in collaboration with the Translational Health Resource Center. But a number of our programs have put on-demand workshops that are available for entrepreneurs or special topics. And then we also have through our career services market days where businesses can come and promote their business to the students and the staff and faculty population as well. And then we do have some executive education and certificate programs within certain colleges. One in particular is the Zeus Data Science Certificate, which I'll be honest, I don't know anything about, but sounds fascinating. And so the next slide would be about broader engagements where it's not an individual business initiative per se, but it is more about economic development. And so we have some technology transfer and business incubation opportunities, which many universities have, trying to get the research that's done inside of the university out into the commercial market. And we partner with businesses to be able to do that. And then in our case, Star Park actually has event and conference facilities available for rent. And a lot of other universities will make their facilities available to the public. I know our Round Rock campus hosts art events all the time, and they're a great way for networking. We also have the hub development programs where we are helping small businesses or suppliers get involved with the university and get contracts, get prepared to take on those contracts. And then the specialty industry development focus programs are things like our Small Producers Initiative, which Cheyenne, you may or may not be a part of, but it is to help those in a particular industry with economic development and training specific to that sector. And then I added this one because I think it's a great opportunity culturally, is if you attend the university performances, a lot of times you meet some great people there, and they may be a way into the university because they're associated with them and in support of the programming. So as you're thinking about how do I engage with the university, because there are all these multiple threads again that you can pull, it's really important to know what you're bringing to the table, what the value proposition is that you can bring that a university might be interested in. And if we go to the next slide, we can look at some of those reasons that they might be interested in partnering with you. Oh, went away. But if you're providing an opportunity for workforce development, or if you need research and grant funding because you have some intellectual property that deserves commercialization, university can bring that to the table. We also kind of have this focus on, it's not just workforce development and student development, but economic development regionally. And then in addition to kind of multiple reasons to engage, which are you get this access to the specialized knowledge and funding and technology, you can have access to publicly funded resources through our library systems. And this is any public university across Texas. There's that communication and collaborative building aspect. And then, of course, you might just be involved because you want to provide philanthropic support to students in the university. There's some ways in are talk to your SBDC. Some SBDCs are more tightly aligned and have a direct route to maybe the College of Business or another aspect of the university that can help you navigate. The University Career Center is a great place to enter. Service Learning, if they have a service learning director, we are very fortunate that we have that program. The College of Business is always a great place to start. The Alumni Center might even be a great place to start. And the last one, which I think would be more applicable in a lot of colleges and junior colleges, would be the Community Engagement Office. So if you can't find help there, I don't know where you're going to find help, but there's so many resources, and we just really don't leverage them enough. So with that, I will get off my soapbox. I'm sorry, I went a little over time.
Oh, you're all good. Yeah, there's so many resources. It is a challenge to cover them all in just a few moments, but hopefully that offers a bit of insight into a few of the resources that, again, Texas State offers, but most public institutions have that support small businesses. Of course, most individuals don't realize the scope of resources that are offered by their local SBDC, or even that SBDCs are affiliated with universities. And that's not just here locally in Texas, but across the United States. And today we're fortunate to have with us the executive director of the Texas State SBDC, and that's Mr. Joe Harper. Hey, Joe, welcome.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to the group here. Yeah, in fact, there are 64 networks of SBDCs across the country, represented by over 1,000 SBDC field centers, which Texas State is one. So that'll give you an idea of the breadth and depth and scope of the SBDC. And it's been a program that's been around for 40 plus years, providing the kind of assistance to small businesses. It sort of followed the agricultural extension model. What the agricultural extension model did for agriculture and farmers, this model has been put together to perform for small businesses in this community. And it's a great program. You will find different variations as you go throughout the country, but we're a member of a larger network. Go to the next slide. The first slide there would be the network that we belong to is the Texas Southwest SBDC network. There are 10 field centers represented in this network, and we collaborate with each other on an ongoing basis. And we cover 79 counties. That blue area represents our network. A total of 4 networks in Texas. There's 5 in California, and then every other state only has 1. So Texas and California, because of our size, we have quite a bit different structure. But in all, we're designed to provide technical assistance to small businesses. And Texas State University's SBDC is a sort of an outward-focused component of McCoy College Business, designed to support the launch and growth of small businesses, leveraging the talents and the resources of the faculty and students, along with the professional business advisors. I think the next slide would be give you an idea of what our team looks like. We have some senior advisors, we have some junior advisors, and we are actively leveraging interns into our program. Peggy has done a great job in establishing that for us, and it works out well that we're able to build capacity to serve our communities by leveraging the faculty and the students there. How we address these businesses actually comes along. There's probably 3 levels of our approach, because and each level has sort of a customized scope of work as it relates to that. We work with pre-ventures, people who are at that ideation stage and want to try to launch a business. We work with businesses that are sort of new ventures. They've launched, but they're not quite sustainable yet. We also engage with businesses that are early stage and they're looking to grow. Now they want to know how they position themselves for growth. And then we also teach businesses how to scale. And of course, there's always, well, what's after that? Well, what's after that is some sort of exit strategy. So from ideation to exit, that's how we focus on the small business community. Now, we approach this technical assistance in 3 different channels. One of them is that we have our professional advisors, where we sit down and we do one-on-one advising with a professional business advisor with the client to look at the client's needs, address what their concerns are, and develop an overall strategy. What's the growth strategy look like for that business over time? And once you're a client of the SBDC, you're always a client of the SBDC. And the good news is that since we're at no cost, there's nothing to fear about being a client of us for the rest of your business life, if you will. But in focusing on the one-on-one, we're able to address some specific needs and give some more customized guidance as we go along. We also use professional development or training. I tend to separate those two, training being more of the basics and how do you, sort of how-to process, whereas the professional development does a deeper dive. It gets more into some of the real advanced skill sets that you probably need as a business, and how do you go about looking at, knowledge, skills, and best practices on an advanced level. The last thing we do is we teach them how to build collaborations, because there's 3 or 4 types of collaborations that businesses need to learn to engage in order to build their business and grow their business. And the process is a capacity builder, but it's also a learning opportunity and a way to leverage yourself into new markets. And so we work with them to help them develop strategic alliances, portfolio alliances, build innovative networks, and then to really build up their support ecosystem. So there are a lot of things that we're able to do, but just to give you an example on this slide, these are just some of the business advising services that we provide so that you can get an idea. This is not all inclusive by any stretch, but it at least gives you some sort of a compartmental idea of what different scopes of work might look like. What we do is we sit down with every client and it becomes an individual discussion. It becomes an individual strategy. It's a customized scope of work as you move forward. Because we can have businesses that are like businesses having the same problem, but have two very different solutions. And so we found over time that it's best just to sit down and work with you directly and customize the direction that you're going to go in with you. So that's the scope of what we do. And we would love the opportunity to be able to visit with you and to work with you in growing your business.
Joe, that's quite an impressive list, in my opinion, of the scope of services that you all offer. And I want to highlight again that these are services offered at no cost, correct?
That's correct.
Right. And what is there a maximum or a limit amount of time that a business owner can receive consulting or advice from you all?
No, there isn't. We don't limit it. I mean, there's a capacity problem. There's a few of us and a whole lot of y'all, so and there's always a capacity problem. But no, it's we're with you for the life of your business. We engage with you. We have some strategies that we use to make that engagement easier. And once you sign up with us, you're ours for life, and we spend a good bit of time. We'll even circle back. We have what we call our lifestyle client, meaning that they're with us. Since you're with us for life, even if you haven't contacted us in 6 months or a year, we're always looking at what opportunity or challenge might be coming your way, know it or not, and then we'll reach out to you and say, hey, let's talk about this particular challenge that may be coming your way, or let's talk about an opportunity that may be coming your way, and sort of recycle you back into the lifestyle client. So,
and that in itself is another benefit, right? To have another set of eyes watching out for something that might be in front of you that you may or may not be aware of.
Correct. And we learned some good lessons during COVID that gave us insight on what types of challenges might be in the near future, or they may already be in the throes of, and how do we build a strategy to address those? So,
well, thanks so much for these insights, Joe. And if you don't mind sticking around for a bit, and we may have some additional questions for you and